Turning now to the Supreme Court, where justices have ruled on key cases, one of them connected to the January 6th Capitol riots, siding with a Pennsylvania man who challenged an obstruction charge against him. CBS 13's Erica Brown joining us now from outside the Supreme Court in D.C. So what exactly did the justices decide, and how could this affect President Trump?
Right. So this was a key ruling that came down from the Supreme Court this morning. And essentially, the justices ruled that the scope in which defendants, hundreds of defendants connected to the January 6th Capitol riots could be charged is limited, meaning that they need to provide, federal prosecutors need to provide evidence that there was tampering with documents or evidence related to the obstruction charge, and that they can be a blanketed obstruction charge from federal prosecutors. This could have an impact on former President Donald Trump. We anticipate that his attorneys could likely challenge 2 of the 4 charges that he's facing connected to the January 6th Capitol riots based on the Supreme Court's ruling. However, special counsel Jack Smith argued previously that should the Supreme Court rule this way, they'll be prepared to move forward with their prosecution. Supreme Court justices decided 6-3 to throw out a lower court's ruling that allowed a broad interpretation of an Enron-era statute to charge hundreds of defendants in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. The High Court decided its use must include proof that defendants tried to tamper with or destroy documents. Only some of the people who violently attacked the Capitol fall into that category.
The majority is saying here is it can't just be walking in and engaging in a riot that stops either a Supreme Court proceeding or a city council meeting, or in this case, the counting of electoral college votes. That it has to be tied to some sort of document destruction.
The defendant who brought the case is former Harrisburg, Pennsylvania police officer Joseph Fisher. His lawyer argued the government is using the obstruction statute as a dragnet. The decision could impact the prosecutions of hundreds of defendants. It could also have implications on some of the charges former President Donald Trump faces in his federal election case.
I will be shocked if special counsel Jack Smith does not have court papers ready to say that he can still charge former President Trump with obstruction, arguing that he was trying to interfere with the counting and the counting of those state electoral votes, which were paper, which were evidence.
The court also announced its last day of the term is Monday, when watchers can expect a decision in Trump's immunity case. Now, Attorney General Merrick Garland, in a statement today, said that he was disappointed in the Supreme Court's ruling, but that this ruling does not impact the vast majority of the 1,400 defendants that are facing charges related to the January 6th Capitol riots. But for those that do, he says the Department of Justice would take the appropriate steps to comply with the ruling.
So you kind of broke down really great, by the way, how this could impact President Trump. But can you go into a little more just this ruling and the effect it could have on some of the January 6th defendants?
Well, we are already seeing the direct impact of the Supreme Court ruling on some of those defendants. Here in Washington, federal judges have already been ordering a review for some of the charges that are being faced by these defendants, asking parties to plan for potentially rescheduling, resentencing hearings related to those charges. So we're already seeing this immediate impact where the docket here in the District of Columbia is already being filled with scheduling for review of some of the charges faced by these defendants.
All right. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Thank you for breaking this down for us and for your time, Erica. We appreciate it.